know what I think? I think that Stephanie made that post about not showing any of the Christmas gifts because she knows that the Amazon wish list was hers that Drew put up, and that anyone who purchased off of that was going to see that the gifts that the kids got were the exact same ones that they already bought. So she was just trying to cover up the lie that she made, because honestly that tracks. And I'm 99% sure that she also signed the kids up for the Angel Tree or Toys for Tots or something, because she is going to grift. Like, if there's one thing about Stephanie, she's going to get a handout. She's going to figure out a way. So I'm saying this because I'm hoping that the kids actually did get a good Christmas. They did get to open up plenty of gifts that they actually wanted, but she's the queen of rage bait, so she made posts alluding to the fact that the kids weren't going to get lots. That way she can just rub it in your face later if they did get stuff and they had a good Christmas. We see new things in the motel. But she also didn't want to admit that she lied about the wish list. I don't know. I feel like that makes sense, given her track record.
Okay, so picture this. It's right after the holidays. Everyone's supposed to be chilling with their new gifts and family vibes. But no, Stephanie, you know, the one people online low-key called Jenky Poo or whatever, she drops this massive, like, essay-length rant on her Facebook. I'm talking paragraphs on paragraphs, girl. It was long. Like 5 full ones and then a little wrap-up at the end. And honestly, the whole thing is her going off about how people are apparently way too invested in her kids' Christmas and what they got or didn't get. Wait, let me back up a second, because this didn't come out of nowhere, right? Leading up to Christmas, there was all this hype. Allegedly, she had been hyping up how magical her holiday was going to be. Like, way better than everyone else's, or something along those lines. Reports say she was talking big about it being super special, 10 times more enchanting than your average family setup.
Just discovered something in a Resilient Jenkins video, and I fear it's what we suspected. So as Stephanie was making a video, she did her normal voiceover format. But as she did it, she didn't realize her captions were on. And she's talking about some interesting things. I don't want to read it, I don't want to get in trouble, but she said this is something that you didn't use them to make medicinal stuff. And then after, the kid said, I hope they saw that. And she played it off and said, saw what? And I really don't think she realized. Like, I went through the comments and it didn't seem like anyone noticed. Like, nothing. Like, there's nothing. They're just talking about the video. And look, I don't have any problem with that. I have FND, so I'm a medical patient myself. I just think people are worried about them putting the kids first, and especially around the holidays. And that was posted recently. I think it was their most recent video. I really hope the kids got what they wanted for Christmas. I know it's definitely hard this time of year, so I really hope the kids got what they needed. Everything is definitely alleged. They could have been talking about something else, I don't know. But it looked like they were talking about, to me. I mean, it says it in the caption, so. And just so we're clear, I want nothing but the best for them.
So naturally, people had expectations, you know? Like, when you put that energy out there, folks are going to be curious, especially with everything that's been going on in her life. But then, Christmas comes and goes, and crickets on the kids opening presents or anything fun like that. No pics, no videos of them excited over toys, nothing. And apparently, that's what set her off. She posts this huge thing basically saying we're all obsessed with her children and don't need to see what they received. Okay, but here's the thing. No one's out here obsessed with the kids personally in a creepy way, you know? It's more like people feel bad because from what she's been showing online, it looks like the kids might not be getting the best care or opportunities, and that tugs at heartstrings. Like, allegedly, there's concern that their needs aren't always priority, and that's why folks tune in. And girl, listen to this part. Supposedly, Drew, her guy, had put up an Amazon wish list for the kids, and strangers went in and bought everything on it. The whole list cleared out.
It was the night before Christmas, in a roadside motel, where two able-bodied parents had settled in well. 5 children were nestled on foam mats on the floor. And Dad did no chores. The parents had gone viral. The money rolled in. Tens of thousands at first. Yet none spent on them. New coats. Not this year. Trampoline park. No way. But Mom bought kitchen gadgets. $300 a pop anyway. And Drew. Oh dear Drew. With controller in hand. Was glued to his PlayStation 5. Like that was the plan. While dishes piled high. And the kids needed more. He battled fake bosses. And ignored real-life chores. They once had an apartment. 1 bedroom. That's true. But rent went unpaid, so eviction then flew. Instead of regrouping or finding a job, they chose motel living and called it a vlog. The kids slept in kitchens, on floors, on thin mats, while parents claimed comfort in a queen bed fancy at that. So remember this tale. As the stockings hang bare, kids need more than excuses. And parents who don't care. Not pity, not platforms, not lies wrapped in cheer.
Now, if I'm some random person buying gifts for kids I've never met, just trying to spread some holiday cheer, I'd kind of love to see them unwrapping those exact things and being happy, right? It would make it feel real. But apparently, we didn't get any of that. Some people online are whispering that maybe the reason she didn't show the gifts is because the only new stuff the kids got came from those strangers, nothing extra from her side. I don't know if that's true, but oof, if it is, that's rough. She also apparently went on about wanting a more positive audience or following. Like, if your content constantly shows situations where it looks like you're not stepping up for your kids' better life, not even trying, allegedly, then yeah, you're gonna get criticism. Real talk, negative comments suck, but engagement is engagement, positive or negative, and that's what pays the bills on these platforms, you know?
Stephanie Thompson has emerged, and not to tell us what her kids' favorite Christmas moments were this year, but to tell us that she just came to a simple realization that she's actually mad about that she didn't realize before. And the comments on this post just summed up my thoughts on this situation perfectly. Was your realization getting a job? Was the realization that you should get these divorce papers signed? Was the realization that accountability exists? Was it to leave Drew? Now, she obviously didn't tell us what the realization was because she knew people would leave these types of comments. Now, Stephanie went on a blocking spree on Christmas, and you can tell her engagement has lowered, which I think is why she's posting these rage-baity posts to get those people back. The comments under her posts have more likes than her actual posts do. Because if she was really going to block everybody that left an angry emoji or a negative comment, she would literally have 0 people commenting and engaging with her, except the other pages that she made for herself. The few supporters she does have are probably other parents that parent their children the same way, actually see her situation as normal, which it is not, and I will never normalize this. But I hope she came to that realization that the lifestyle she's cultivating for her children is not okay.
Though, reports say she went on a big blocking spree around Christmas, like over 200 people or something, and now her numbers are dipping. So maybe that's why this rant popped up, trying to stir things up again. Honestly, I low-key think, and this is just my take, she decided not to show the Christmas hauls because she didn't want people connecting the dots that the wish list was kinda her idea through Drew, and everything bought was from generous strangers. Like, it might expose that she was downplaying things or whatever. And you know her track record with the rage bait. Allegedly, she's the type to hint that things are bad or the kids won't get much, to get sympathy or gifts flowing in, and then later show off if it works out. Or maybe sign up for programs like Angel Tree or Toys for Tots on the low, because if there's a handout, she's figuring it out apparently. I mean, I hope the kids had an amazing day, full of stuff they actually wanted, opening piles of presents and feeling special. They deserve that magic, no question.
Why'd she act like this was an inspiring, candid video taken of her, but really all she's doing is recording herself and showing off her gummy smile? I have genuinely never seen someone try to smile so big you can count every tooth in her mouth. I mean literally every tooth. We know she smiles. I don't get why she feels like she needs to cosplay being happy. Neck veins going crazy pretending to be that happy. Yikes. You can't tell me she isn't possessed. Look at how her eyes black out. Spooky. Not gonna lie, the only person's life she's making easier is the dentist's, because no need to tell her to open wide. Why is her jaw so jittery? I think I've seen this before. Yep, there it is.
But then, right after, she pops back up with this vague post about having some big realization over the holidays. Not sharing what her kids' favorite moments were or anything cute like that. No, just teasing that she's mad about something she only just figured out. And the comments, whew, they were savage but kinda spot on. People joking like, oh, was it realizing you need a job? Or, finally gonna sign those divorce papers? Or, accountability is a thing? Stuff like that. She didn't spill what the realization actually was, probably because she knew it'd spark exactly those kinds of responses. And yeah, the engagement on her stuff has been lower since the blocking frenzy. Comments on her posts getting more likes than the posts themselves sometimes. If she really blocked everyone dropping angry emojis or calling her out, she'd have barely any interaction left, except maybe from a handful of supporters who see her lifestyle as totally normal. Which, it's not, and I will never act like neglecting kids' emotional or basic needs in that motel situation is okay. Like, come on, the whole thing just feels like classic rage bait to pull people back in after the holidays quieted down. She knows how to keep the conversation going, even if it's negative.
Hey guys, it's been a while since I had one of these. I have really felt like recording. I guess you could say I've just been depressed, I guess, a little bit, and just kind of overwhelmed with a lot of things. I guess it happens from time to time, but I guess sometimes I just don't feel like doing much when that happens. I've still been working. I've still been doing gig work from here to there. Everything else is normal-ish. Just seeing a lot of stuff online. Curious, what people actually think of us, because I think people think that we're pretty awful people. I don't know why. Everything that we do is pretty normal, cleaning, cooking. I mean, the situation's not ideal, but we try to make the best of it and get out of it. I mean, also I see a lot of different kind of hate support online, and I'm curious when we're gonna be able to get some of that support before we can figure some stuff out for ourselves too. Not saying we're, leaning on everybody else, but I see a lot of exterior support online from a lot of different sources, and people making revenues. Yeah, I know. I mean, I gotta be more consistent posting, but even me, I only made 25 cents on TikTok, which is, it is what it is. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and comments of.
But at the end of the day, I just hope whatever realization she had actually leads to better choices for those kids, They didn't ask for any of this online mess, and Christmas should be about them feeling loved and excited, not whatever drama is swirling around the adults. Okay, so imagine you're scrolling through your feed, expecting the usual back and forth drama or excuses, right? But then it hits you. Wait, this isn't just petty stuff or people being mean online. No way, it's all about the money. Not in some shady, greedy vibe, but like that quiet realization where you start noticing how the spending, the stories, the priorities, they never quite match up, no matter how many times they try to explain it away. And honestly, this didn't kick off with trolls or haters stirring the pot. It started with these patterns they've shared themselves. Money always popping up in their content, either as the big villain or something they're flexing or defending, but somehow it never actually solves the problems they're talking about.
Don't mind if I do, Drew. Let's react to Drew's latest post.
Hey guys, it's been a while since I had one of these. I have really felt like recording.
I can't imagine why.
I guess you could say I've just been depressed, I guess, a little bit, and just kind of overwhelmed with a lot of things.
I'm sure you are stressed and overwhelmed. You should have never let a woman with her 2 children come into your home with your 1 son in a 1-bedroom apartment, take it over, then get you evicted from that same apartment, and then decide to have 2 children with her when you guys could not even handle the children you already had.
I guess it happens from time to time, but I guess sometimes I just don't feel like doing much when that happens.
Unfortunately, you've put yourself and children in a position where you don't have a choice. You need to be doing stuff, regardless of your mental health, because of your decision to bring children into this world and the need to provide for them.
Like, we're not recapping their whole backstory here because you guys know who they are, but we're gonna lay out every money moment they've put out there, step by step, with all the claims, buys, excuses, and those head-scratching contradictions, just as they happened. No fluff, no spin from me, because the real tea is that creators can totally make bank, we get that. But when the way money shows up in their life clashes so hard with the struggle narrative they're pushing, you can't ignore it. Once you spot it, girl, it's stuck in your brain. But wait, this whole mess really blew up around the holidays, and not subtly at all. It was one of those, oh, okay, I feel you moments at first. Like, Stephanie hops online and straight up says, Christmas isn't looking great this year. Apparently, money's tight, they can't swing it, and she even mentions not being able to afford basics like laundry soap. Oof, and she talks about how it's hitting families extra hard, especially with kids depending on you.
Here's the thing, is like people who have their verified accounts or they have their like following and stuff, they get more bold. They change up their personality and they become even more who they want to be on that screen, because prior to that, they were trying to put on this fake persona to try to catch all these viewers and followers. Guess what? That's not me. I will be real from the very beginning. You will see a sweatshirt that looks like a homeless wreck. You're gonna see real, bro. I'm not gonna freaking be fake. And I pray to God that like that's enough to start catching followers and people that just want authenticity, because I'm not about it, man. I'm not gonna put on a fake face every morning. Like I would wear makeup if I had it, but reality is that I don't have it right now, so I'm not gonna go buy it for a freaking video to look better so I can have more followers and be more aesthetically. No, bro, I'm gonna get the real followers. I'm gonna get the people that actually understand that's not a materialistic lifestyle. That's not what I'm about.
If it stopped there, most people would have been like, yeah, holidays are rough for a lot of us. No judgment. But then, in the same time frame, not way later or unrelated, reports say she turns around and drops $70 on a PS5 game for Drew. Hold up. You just said you can't cover soap or make Christmas magical for the kids. One of them needs a jacket even. And now entertainment for a grown-up is the move. Real talk, it's not about hating on adults having fun or saying struggling folks can't enjoy anything. That's the defense that always comes up, but it misses the point. It's about choices, you know. Priorities screaming loud and clear that the kids aren't at the top of the list, allegedly.
I've still been working. I've still been doing gig work from here to there. Everything else is normal-ish.
No. Here's the delusion. Living in a motel room with 7 people is not normal.
Just seeing a lot of stuff online. Curious, what people actually think of
Be so for real at this point.
us. Is I think people think that we're pretty awful people. I don't know why.
It might be because you have 5 kids in a motel room and you've been living there for over 1 year. Oh, and don't forget, you also have another child that you've been in contempt of court with several times because you won't pay child support. You went on live and admitted to spending $30 every few days on smoke, but you're still living in the motel room. You didn't have the means to take care of the children you already had, but then decided to get pregnant with another woman, not once but twice.
Everything that we do is pretty normal.
Let me make this clear. This lifestyle is not normal. Homeless living with 5 children in a 1-room motel is in no way, shape, or form normal or relatable.
Cleaning, cooking. I mean, the situation's not ideal, but try to make the best of it and get out of it.
I don't believe you. If this is your guys' best way of trying to get out of the situation, you need to try harder.
And this stung extra because apparently, not long before all this can't afford it talk, she was hyping up how their Christmas was going to be epic. Like, better than everyone else's. All handled, no worries. So now viewers are whiplashed, trying to reconcile this confident flex with the sudden crisis mode. 1 minute, abundance and magic. The next, no soap, no jackets, holidays doomed. That kind of flip-flopping doesn't just confuse people. It erodes trust. Especially when it feels like the instability is being paraded online while money's still flowing. Just not toward fixing things for the little ones. Low-key, that's why this holiday drama hit different. It was the wake-up call for a ton of folks realizing that hard time story didn't match the actions, and support started dipping because of it. And let's not forget how Stephanie's been super vocal about social media being a legit job. Like, she says it boldly, apparently claiming she probably pulls in more than most watchers. You know, that don't question me, I'm doing better than you energy.
I mean, also I see a lot of different kind of hate support online, and I'm curious when we're going to be able to get some of that support before we can figure some stuff out for ourselves too.
Here again is them expecting handouts. When are we going to get that support? When you do something to deserve that support.
Not saying we're, leaning on everybody else, but I see a lot of exterior support online from a lot of different sources, and people making revenues.
Yeah, you guys barely post, and the content you do post is not very good. Like, clearly, instead of having social media be extra income, they want it to be their main source of income. Yet we can see the effort they put into making the content, and it is so bare minimum. Like, if you seriously wanted social media to make money for you, why wouldn't you be posting so much more?
Yeah, no, I mean, I gotta be more consistent posting, but even me, I only made 25 cents on TikTok, which is, I mean, it is what it is.
But then, reports from around that time showed Drew on a live saying they overqualify for income-based housing assistance, meaning they make too much to get help. Okay, but if that's the case, why is the family still in a motel? Why is money always the excuse for basics? And get this, she posted about their GoFundMe, which was supposedly for Drew's custody legal stuff, but apparently she lost access and was asking if it was cool to use it for the kids' Christmas, or even a trip to urban air instead. Girl, if you're making bank like you say, why touch donated money meant for court battles? That raised so many eyebrows because it feels like lines are blurring. Legal funds turning into holiday cash. Not a good look. You know what else? Just days before those lives, apparently she bought a brand new Ninja appliance over $200. Luxury kitchen gadget while claiming tight finances. And she posted about being grateful for EBT this month. Food stamps, which for a family of 7 in Oregon means income under about $8,000 a month to qualify, per some comments.
One thing I hate hearing Stephanie say over and over again is that we're doing the best that we can. We're doing the best that we can. No, you're not. You're actually not doing your best. Because even if you couldn't afford to give those children, spanking and brand new Christmas gifts, and honestly, that's not even an excuse because there are so many resources out there for lower income families with children during the holiday season, but that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of inexpensive things that you could have done. At the very least, honey, you could have even went to the goddamn Dollar Tree store and got them some damn presents from the Dollar General or the Family Dollar or the Dollar Tree. Like, there's really no excuse. You had a whole entire year to plan for the holidays and you did nothing. The reason why you did nothing is because you're lazy. That's really it. It has nothing to do, with the fact that, you're in the situation that you're in because you're in the situation that you're in because you don't want to work. That's really it.
Possible, sure, but if you're also flexing higher earnings, why no progress out of the motel? Why splurge on non-essentials? This is why critics pop up, honestly. People want to see real moves towards stability, especially since their platform blew up from sharing that living situation. They say they crave authenticity, but the content's more excuses than action. Oh, and this $15 Facebook payout thing? Apparently, she ranted about it expiring, framing it like it was going to kickstart Christmas or something, blaming the platform. But if you're out here saying you earn more than most, why is $15 a big deal? It screams fragility, Like that mindset where a tiny amount feels life-changing tells a whole story about what's really going on behind the scenes, no matter the big talk.
I wasn't going to talk about this. I promise I was not going to talk about this. But I'm genuinely concerned, again, for the livelihood of the children in that schmotel. Okay. Stephanie posted. Yep, back on it. Stephanie posted a picture of a bunch of dumpsters with a bunch of stuff outside of them saying, how do you feel about dumpster diving? Okay. Then she made a post saying, it wasn't me dumpster diving, I just stopped to take a picture. Okay. Then she posts a video walking a table back to that schmotel room.
Instead of owning the disconnect, it's always someone else's fault. The system, the haters, whatever. Those two vibes can't coexist, and it just made people question everything. But girl, listen, the GoFundMe pivot was a massive red flag. Created for legal fees in Drew's custody fight. Serious stuff, that's what donors signed up for. Then, apparently, she says she's locked out and straight up asks the audience if repurposing it for gifts or a fun outing is okay. Pause right there, because if social media is your full-time gig bringing in more than average, you don't crowdsource holidays from court donations. That's not stable adulting. It's flexible boundaries with money that should have stayed earmarked. Help is fine, lots of families need it, but not while positioning yourself as financially ahead. That contradiction? It's why folks mentally dipped. If the money's really flowing, Christmas wouldn't come from a redirected GoFundMe.
Really? My concern isn't that their kids are getting anything, isn't even the fact that it's from a dumpster. It's the fact that even bed bugs can live in wood. Did you know that? I know that from family members. Bed bugs, spiders, cockroaches, anything can live in wood, especially if you're taking it to a place where there's a bunch of warm bodies to feed off of. And then she makes a post about how she's not posting Christmas, but she posts last year's. Really? So did the kids just get dumpster stuff? And are you going to clean it? How are you going to sanitize wood?
Reports say that the very same day she posted the first rant, her daughter comes home and tells her the teacher pulled her into the office again for another talk. Stephanie's asking, what was it about this time? And the kid apparently says it was the exact same conversation as before. And what was this big scary topic? Just a private check-in so the teacher wouldn't embarrass the child in front of the whole class. Like basic, responsible adult stuff, pulling them aside to address whatever behavior quietly. But no, allegedly Stephanie flips it into this huge conspiracy, claiming the teacher's out of line, discriminating, maybe even favoring or targeting because of the TikTok fame or whatever. Girl, come on. Teachers deal with hundreds of kids. They're not all secretly obsessed with your page. And then, oh my God, she goes into this whole thing about her confrontational anxiety. Apparently, she avoids arguments most of the time because when she gets mad, that fiery side comes out and she goes way too far. Like, describing it almost dramatically, you know? But then she says if someone's messing with her kids, harassing them, then yeah, that side deserves to come out. And in her mind, a teacher having normal, private conversations counts as harassment.
I pass their chore, mom's gonna take over and do it correctly. Because it just simply freaking irritates me when I see something that needs to be done and I'm asking for some assistance for it to be done, and the person's sitting there either complaining or just half-assing it, and I'm like, you know what? Just get out of my way. Okay, y'all, real quick, I'm gonna take a minute to address some bullshit that keeps popping up.
I mean, that's a stretch, right? Teachers are literally trained to notice when something might be off, especially with behavior issues, and they're mandated to report concerns. They have to check in privately sometimes, exactly to protect the kid from embarrassment. But here's where it gets even more layered. Allegedly, she's planning to march up to the school, maybe on a Monday or whatever, to confront this teacher face to face. Not to clarify or understand or team up as co-parents, no. Straight confront, because she sees it as a personal attack. Meanwhile, in the same video, she's snapping at her own kids multiple times because they're being loud and fighting while the baby's trying to sleep or Drew's resting. Like, the chaos in that tiny room is constant. Kids clashing, no real space to spread out, everything overstimulating. And instead of connecting any dots there, she points the finger at the teacher for noticing the fallout at school. I cannot.
Yankee Poo just posted a 6-paragraph novel of a rant on her Facebook. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now, when I say a 6-paragraph rant, I am literally talking about 5 solid paragraphs and then a conclusion paragraph of 2 sentences. So if you want to consider that a paragraph, you can or cannot. But that's up to you. Either way, a lot of writing for the Janky Poo. So I know you guys must be curious about what all of this is about. And it's in reference to Christmas, of course, because we had way too high of expectations for her Christmas since she told everybody that she was going to have a more magical Christmas than the rest of us.
And will be 10 times more magical than your Christmas in your freaking home.
Well, when you say that you're going to have a more magical Christmas than the rest of us, that does kind of set some expectations in our brains. But how dare we have that expectation? I know you guys are curious to see what it is that she said, so I'm going to go ahead and I will post some of the screenshots right here. Now, I cannot fit all of this in one screenshot because it's literally that long, so I'm going to need you guys to go ahead and pause after each screenshot. This way you can fully read what exactly she's saying. And I will give you time to review those screenshots like right now.
Because think about it. 7 people crammed in one room, constant noise, mess everywhere, limited boundaries. Those poor kids are in full survivor mode. And that stress doesn't just stay in the motel. It shows up at school. acting out, struggles focusing, whatever. Teachers see that stuff every day. They're not inventing drama. But apparently, Stephanie's so insecure about anyone talking to her kids alone that she's framing normal check-ins as sinister. Rumor has it she's even told her children before not to be in a room alone with teachers, allegedly because one once suggested better housing options to a kid, and that set her off. Not because the living situation needs improving, but because it felt like exposure. Like, be so for real. She's the one posting all about their setup daily, filming the cleanups, the fights, the everything in front of the kids and the internet. But a teacher gently bringing up resources, that's crossing the line.
So apparently we're too obsessed with her children for us to see what they got for Christmas. I'm going to tell you right now, no one is obsessed with your children as individuals. We're obsessed with your children as a whole and the fact that they deserve better because you're clearly showing that you're neglecting their needs. So she goes on to say how we don't really need to see what her children got for Christmas, but this woman fails to understand that Drew literally posted a Christmas wish list and that entire list got bought out. Which, I don't know about you, but if I were a stranger buying children gifts, I think it would be kind of nice to see the children open the gifts and to see them happy that they got those gifts.
Low-key, it feels like deep down there's panic about what the kids might share in those private moments. Kids talk, you know. They observe everything. The yelling, the snapping, the older ones helping too much with the little ones, all that emotional weight. And once they start opening up, the full picture comes out. Overcrowding, instability, the volatility. Teachers aren't blind to signs of distress, and they're required to act on it. Honestly, this whole meltdown just highlights so many contradictions. She's all about that resilient brand, but flips out when school steps in like they're supposed to. The kids mirroring the home chaos isn't because of some hater teacher, it's the environment. And framing private talks as harassment, that just dodges any real accountability. If it's not the teacher's fault, then maybe look at why the behavior is popping up in the first place, right?
Some people are speculating that Janky Poo is not telling us what they got for Christmas because the only toys that they got for Christmas were the ones that strangers bought for them. She goes on to say that she needs more of a positive following. If you are clearly showing in your content that you are neglecting your children, that you fail to give them a better life, that you are not even trying to give them a better life, obviously, you're going to have some people coming after you, okay? But guess what? Engagement is engagement, positive or negative, and either way, you're getting your paycheck. So I wonder how much her paycheck is about to dwindle now that she blocked over 200 people. If you guys do like content like this, I do post content like this fairly often, and I do have a follower goal of 5,000 followers by the end of January. I am just over 1,000 followers short of that. I would love it if you guys can help me out with that. So please go ahead and hit that follow button as well as that like button and comment, because I want to hear what you guys have to say about this novel of a rant.
At this point, people started crunching numbers themselves, not out of spite, but because nothing added up. Like, one creator broke it down using public info. They've got around 220,000 followers on TikTok, way over the 10,000 needed for the creator fund. You get paid for views from the For You page, at least 7 seconds watched. Even lowballing it super conservatively, assuming only 25% of views qualify, which is unusually low for a big account, and estimating 50 million views a month based on their posting, that's 12.5 million payable views. Then RPM, pay per 1,000 views. Let's say a low 50 cents, even though high engagement accounts like theirs could be 75 cents to $1. Math shakes out to about $6,000 a month from views alone. Not millionaire status, but full-time income for sure.
Stephanie Jenkins is still showing Deshawn even though she's not supposed to. The most embarrassing part is that she thinks that because she's posting old videos and old pictures of Deshawn, it's perfectly fine to do so, even though she was ordered by a judge not to post him. Who does that? Like, who doesn't listen to a judge telling them not to do something? It's really sad that she's spending Christmas not sharing what she's doing, but we can tell that she really didn't do anything for those kids on Christmas because she keeps posting old pictures and videos of last year's Christmas. I mean, it sucks that when she was living in that one bedroom, they were doing way better off than they're doing this year. I'm not sure. I just think that Desiree, which is the biological mom of Deshaun, really needs to do something. It's embarrassing how she can still break the court order and still try to have some kind of custody of a kid that does not belong to her. I mean, she's married. Stephanie Jenkins is married to a PDF file. She's not even married to Drew. Let that be a huge point, Desiree, as to why she shouldn't be around your kid. Just saying. But follow me for more videos like this. I post regularly, and yeah.
So the question shifts. If that's the case, why no housing? Why act broke? They could show a $1,099 as proof of income for rentals, no problem. And subscriptions. Apparently, she launched them at $5.99 a month, and at one point, over 700 people in a live, even if not all subscribed. That's potentially over $2,000 monthly just from that, not counting gifts, fund earnings, or shop sales. Again, where's it all going? Why still beg for basics or post wish lists? Drew even said they overqualify for aid, so too much income for help, but then claim they can't afford necessities. Doesn't track. Now, the motel situation. Apparently $2,800 a month, $700 a week. Sit with that, because that's not rock bottom emergency pricing. That's choosing premium for instability.
All right, let's play the game. Why am I enraged at Stephanie today? $200 for all 5 kids. That is less than $50 per child. That's just purely unacceptable. I'm sorry, it is. Hang on before you freak out and start yelling at me. If that's all you have, obviously, you do the best you can, okay? That's not all she has. That's not all she's. Remember, she makes more money than all of us, and her Christmas is going to be more magical than all of us. And don't even start with, it's not about presents. It is a little bit about presents. It's Christmas. The kids deserve to have presents for Christmas. Like $30? $30 per child, especially for the older ones? Are you fucking kidding me? When I think how hard I have worked to make this Christmas happen, I was out until midnight the last 3 nights. I would have much rather be home with my kids. I was out till midnight delivering groceries and doing gig work and hustling to make sure that I spent, I don't want to tell you guys how much I spent. And I am not someone with a lot of income. I'm not. Probably pretty close to $1,000 a kid, okay? And I have 4. I understand that not everybody's going to do that. I get that. You couldn't have done $100 a kid. You can get like 1 toy.
At that rate, you could snag a short-term rental, Airbnb, or apartment with a deposit. But instead, they're upgrading the space, buying appliances, blenders, making it cozy like it's permanent. If you're desperate to leave, you don't invest in temporary. You hustle toward an exit. Pair that with the income estimates, and it looks like no real plan. Just burning cash weekly while kids deal with the lack of space and normalcy. They blame denials on credit issues. Make enough, but bad credit. But they've been there 8 months. Plenty of time for repair, saving, progress, especially with social media as the job. When nothing changes, credit's just an excuse. Meanwhile, posts about 200 plus ninja, skincare hauls, all while Christmas is iffy and wish lists drop. That's not poor, that's reckless priorities, allegedly.
For $30. And she goes, we just can't afford $50 for a toy. Oh, but you can afford several $100s a month in grass. You can afford a $90 game for Drew. You can afford the air fryer and the blender. Nobody gave you that. You bought it. And somebody asked her, why didn't you sign up for Toys for Tots? Why didn't you do Angel Tree? Because I don't want all that junk in the hotel. But you're okay with collecting a bunch of junk off the TikTok shop. That's okay to pile that junk up. But not junk for your kids. No Christmas tree, no presents, no elves, nothing. I've cried about it more than once. Just thinking about how absolutely devastated. Not that they're expecting much. Those kids are not expecting much, obviously. But how devastated they're going to be Christmas morning. To not even have a tree. To have their 1 present each under. It's just pathetic. It's pathetic. It is. When you have the means to do better like she does. To give your kids that abysmal of a Christmas. And her justification is they're not going to remember it. Yes, they are. They are. Maybe you don't remember it specifically because your Christmases were fine. They were great. You remember the magic? Do you remember every toy? No, but what you will remember, what your children will remember, sorry, I stand right there, is waking up to nothing and going to school and hearing about other children's Christmases. That they will remember.
Bottom line, they talk like high earners, spend impulsively, live like fixes are coming tomorrow, but the kids bear the brunt. That's why the money narrative falls flat. Their own words and choices clash constantly. It's not hating on creators earning, it's the inconsistencies breaking trust. Anyway, that's the deep dive on this financial roller coaster with the resilient Jenkins. Wild how it all ties back to those patterns, right? What do you think? Is it mismanagement or something else? Drop your thoughts below, plus where you're watching from and what time it is. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit notifications for more of this, okay? Mwah! Catch you next time.